The Complete Works of William Shakespeare by William Shakespeare. Act V, Scene 1. The Garter in enter Falstaff and Mistress quickly Falstaff. Prithee, no more prattling, go. I'll hold. This is the third time. I hope good luck lies in odd numbers. Away, go. They say there is divinity in odd numbers, either in nativity, chance, or death. Away. Quickly. I'll provide you a chain, and I'll do what I can to get you a pair of horns. Falstaff. Away, I say, time wears, hold up your head, and mince. Exit MRS. Quickly enter Ford disguise. How now, Master Brooke? Master Brooke, the matter will be known tonight or never. Be you in the park about midnight, at Hearn's Oak, and you shall see wonders. Ford. Went you not to her yesterday, sir, as you told me you had appointed? Falstaff. I went to her, Master Brooke, as you see, like a poor old man, but I came from her, Master Brooke, like a poor old woman. That same knave Ford, her husband, hath the finest mad devil of jealousy in him, Master Brooke, that ever governed frenzy. I will tell you he beat me grievously in the shape of a woman, for in the shape of man, Master Brooke, I fear not Goliath with a weaver's beam, because I know also life is a shuttle. I am in haste, go along with me, I'll tell you all, Master Brooke. Since I plucked geese, played truant, and whipped top, I knew not what 'twas to be beaten till lately. Follow me. I'll tell you strange things of this knave Ford, on whom tonight I will be revenged, and I will deliver his wife into your hand. Follow. Strange things in hand, Master Brooke. Follow. Exit Scene 2. Windsor Park enter Page, shallow, and slender Page. Come, come, we'll couch ith Castle ditch till we see the light of our fairies. Remember, son Slender, my daughter. Slender. Aye, forsooth, I have spoke with her, and we have a nay word how to know one another. I come to her in white and cry mum, she cries budget, and by that we know one another. Shallow. That's good too, but what needs either your mum or her budget? The white will decipher her well enough. It hath struck 10 o'clock. Page. The night is dark, light and spirits will become it well. Heaven prosper our sport. No man means evil but the devil, and we shall know him by his horns. Let's away, follow me. Exit Scene 3. A street leading to the park enter Mistress Page, Mistress Ford, and Dr. Caius MRS. Page. Master Doctor, my daughter is in green. When you see your time, take her by the hand, away with her to the deanery, and dispatch it quickly. Go before into the park, we two must go together. Caius. I know that I have to do, adieu. Mrs. Page. Fare you well, sir. Exit Cius. My husband will not rejoice so much at the abuse of Falstaff as he will chafe at the doctor's marrying my daughter, but 'tis no matter. Better a little chiding than a great deal of heartbreak. Mrs. Ford. Where is Nan now, and her troop of fairies, and the Welsh devil, Hugh? Mrs. Page. They are all couched in a pit hard by Heam's Oak, with obscured lights, which, at the very instant of Falstaff's and our meeting, they will at once display to the night. Mrs. Ford. That cannot choose but amaze him. Mrs. Page. If he be not amazed, he will be mocked. If he be amazed, he will every way be mocked. Mrs. Ford. We'll betray him finely. Mrs. Page. Against such ludsters and their lechery, those that betray them do no treachery. Mrs. Ford. The hour draws on. To the oak, to the oak. Exit Scene 4. Windsor Park enter Sir Hugh Evans like a satyr, with others as fairies Evans. Trib, trib, fairies, come, and remember your parts. Be poll, I pray you, follow me into the pit, and when I give the watchwords, do as I bid you. Come, come, trib, trib. Exit Scene 5. Another part of the park enter Falstaff disguised as Herne Falstaff. The Windsor bell has struck 12, the minute draws on. Now the hot-blooded gods assist me. Remember, Jove, thou wast a bull for thy Europa, love set on thy horns. O powerful love! That in some respects makes a beast a man, in some other a man a beast. You were also, Jupiter, a swan, for the love of Leda. O omnipotent love! How near the god drew to the complexion of a goose. A fault done first in the form of a beast, O Jove, a beastly fault, and then another fault in the semblance of a fowl. Think on't, Jove, a foul fault. When gods have hot backs, what shall poor men do? For me, I am here a Windsor stag, and the fattest, I think, ith forest. Send me a cool rut time, Jove, or who can blame me to piss my tallow? Who comes here? My doe! Enter Mistress Ford and Mistress Page MRS. Ford. Sir John. Art thou there, my dear, my male dear? Falstaff. My doe with the black scut. Let the sky rain potatoes. Let it thunder to the tune of green sleeves, hail kissing comfits, and snow erringos. Let there come a tempest of provocation, I will shelter me here. Embracing her, MRS. Ford. Mistress Page is come with me, sweetheart. Falstaff. Divide me like a brib buck, each a haunch. I will keep my sides to myself, my shoulders for the fellow of this walk, and my horns I bequeath your husbands. Am I a woodman, ha? Speak I like him the hunter? Why, now is Cupid a child of conscience, he makes restitution. As I am a true spirit, welcome. A noise of horns, MRS. Page. Alas, what noise? Mrs. Ford. Heaven forgive our sins. Falstaff. What should this be? Mrs. Ford. Away, away. Mrs. Page. Away, away. They run off, Falstaff. I think the devil will not have me damned, lest the oil that's in me should set hell on fire. He would never else cross me thus. Enter Sir Hugh Evans like a satyr, and Page as a fairy, and others as the Fairy Queen, fairies, and hobgoblin, all with tapers. Fairy Queen. Fairies, black, grey, green, and white, you moonshine revellers, and shades of night, you orphan heirs of fixed destiny, attend your office and your quality. Crier Hobgoblin, make the fairy, oh yes. Puck. Elves, list your names. Silence, you airy toys. Cricket, to Windsor chimneys shalt thou leap, where fires thou find'st unracked, and hearths unswept. There pinch the maids as blue as bilberry. Our radiant queen hates sluts and sluttery. Falstaff. They are fairies. He that speaks to them shall die. I'll wink and couch. No man their works must I. Lies down upon his face, Evans. Where's Petey? Go you, and where you find a maid that, ere she sleep, has thrice her prayers said, raise up the organs of her fantasy. Sleep she as sound as careless infancy. But those as sleep and think not on their sins, pinch them, arms, legs, backs, shoulders, sides, and shins. Fairy Queen. About, search Windsor Castle, elves, within and out, strew good luck uffs on every sacred room, that it may stand till the perpetual doom, in state as wholesome as in state 'tis fit, worthy the owner and the ownerate. The several chairs of order look you scour with juice of balm and every precious flower, each fair installment, coat, and several crest, with loyal blazon, evermore be blessed. And nightly, meadow fairies, look you sing, like to the garter's compass, in a ring. Express sure that it bears, green let it be, more fertile fresh than all the field to see, and honey soit camal wide pence right in emerald tufts, fluorescent purple, blue and white, like sapphire, pearl, and rich embroidery, buckled below fair knighthood's bending knee. Fairies use fluoresce for their charactery. Away, disperse. But till 'tis 1 o'clock, our dance of custom round about the oak of Herne the hunter let us not forget. Evans. Pray you, lock hand in hand, yourselves in order set, and 20 glowworms shall our lanterns be, to guide our measure round about the tree. But stay. I smell a man of Middle Earth. Falstaff. Heavens defend me from that Welsh fairy, lest he transform me to a piece of cheese. Puck. Vile worm, thou wast o'erlooked even in thy birth. Fairy Queen. With trial fire touch me his finger end, if he be chaste, the flame will back descend, and turn him to no pain, but if he start, it is the flesh of a corrupted heart. Puck. A trial, come. Evans. Come, will this wood take fire? They put the tapers to his fingers, and he starts. Falstaff. Oh. Fairy Queen. Corrupt, and tainted in desire. About him, fairies, sing a scornful rhyme, and, as you trip, still pinch him to your time. The song. Fie on sinful fantasy. Fie on lust and luxury. Lust is but a bloody fire, kindled with unchaste desire, fed in heart, whose flames aspire, as thoughts do blow them, higher and higher. Pinch him, fairies, mutually, pinch him for his villainy, pinch him and burn him and turn him about, till candles and starlight and moonshine be out. During this song they pinch Falstaff. Dr. Cius comes one way, and steals away a fairy in green, Slender another way, and takes off a fairy in white, and Fenton steals away and Page. A noise of hunting is heard within. All the fairies run away. Falstaff pulls off his buck's head, and rises. Enter Page, Ford, Mistress Page, Mistress Ford, and Sir Hugh Evans Page. Nay, do not fly, I think we have watched you now. Will none but him the hunter serve your turn? Mrs. Page. I pray you, come, hold up the jest no higher. Now, good Sir John, how like you Windsor wives? See you these, husband? Do not these fair yokes become the forest better than the town? Ford. Now, sir, who's a cuckold now? Master Brooke. Falstaff's a knave, a cuckoldly knave. Here are his horns, Master Brooke. And Master Brooke, he hath enjoyed nothing of Ford's but his buck-basket, his cudgel, and 20 pounds of money, which must be paid to Master Brooke. His horses are arrested for it, Master Brooke. Mrs. Ford. Sir John, we have had ill luck, we could never meet. I will never take you for my love again, but I will always count you my dear. Falstaff. I do begin to perceive that I am made an ass. Ford. Ay, and an ox too, both the proofs are extant. Falstaff. And these are not fairies? I was 3 or 4 times in the thought they were not fairies, and yet the guiltiness of my mind, the sudden surprise of my powers, drove the grossness of the foppery into a received belief. In despite of the teeth of all rhyme and reason that they were fairies. See now how it may be made a jackalent when 'tis upon ill employment. Evans. Sir John Falstaff, serve God, and leave your desires, and fairies will not pince you. Ford. Well said, Fairy Hugh. Evans. And leave you your jealousies too, I pray you. Ford. I will never mistrust my wife again, till thou art able to woo her in good English. Falstaff. Have I laid my brain in the sun, and dried it, that it wants matter to prevent so gross, o'erreaching as this? Am I ridden with a Welsh goat too? Shall I have a coxcomb of frieze? 'Tis time I were chalked with a piece of toasted cheese. Evans. Seize is not good to give putter, your belly is all putter. Falstaff. Seize and putter! Have I lived to stand at the taunt of one that makes fritters of English? This is enough to be the decay of lust and late walking through the realm. Mrs. Page. Why, Sir John, do you think, though we would have thrust virtue out of our hearts by the head and shoulders, and have given ourselves without scruple to hell, that ever the devil could have made you our delight? Ford. What, a hodge pudding? A bag of flax? Mrs. Page. A puffed man? Page. Old, cold, withered, and of intolerable entrails. Ford. And one that is as slanderous as Satan? Page. And as poor as Job? Ford. And as wicked as his wife? Evans. and given to fornications, and to taverns, and sack, and wine, and metheglins, and to drinkings, and swearings, and starings, pribbles and prables? Falstaff. Well, I am your theme, you have the start of me, I am dejected, I am not able to answer the Welsh flannel, ignorance itself is a plummet o'er me, use me as you will. Ford. Marry, sir, will bring you to Windsor, to one Master Brooke, that you have cousin of money, to whom you should have been a pander. Over and above that you have suffered, I think to repay that money will be a biting affliction. Page. Yet be cheerful, knight, thou shalt eat a posset tonight at my house, where I will desire thee to laugh at my wife, that now laughs at thee. Tell her Master Slender hath married her daughter. Mrs. Page. Aside, doctors doubt that, if and Page be my daughter, she is, by this, Dr. Caius' wife. Enter Slender. Whoa, ho, ho, Father Page. Page. Son, how now? How now, son? Have you dispatched? Slender. Dispatched. I'll make the best in Gloucestershire know on't. Would I were hanged, law else. Page. Of what, son? Slender. I came yonder at Eton to marry mistress and page, and she's a great lubberly boy. If it had not been ITH Church, I would have swinged him, or he should have swinged me. If I did not think it had been in page, would I might never stir, and 'tis a postmaster's boy. Page. Upon my life, then, you took the wrong. Slender. What need you tell me that? I think so, when I took a boy for a girl. If I had been married to him, for all he was in woman's apparel, I would not have had him. Page. Why, this is your own folly. Did not I tell you how you should know my daughter by her garments? Slender. I went to her in white and cried mum, and she cried budget as an I had appointed, and yet it was not an, but a postmaster's boy. Mrs. Page. Good George, be not angry. I knew of your purpose, turn my daughter into green, and indeed she is now with the doctor at the Deanery, and they're married. Enter Caius Cius. Vere is Mistress Page? By gar, I am cozened, I ha married an garçon, a boy, un paysan, by gar, a boy, it is not an page, by gar, I am cozened. Mrs. Page. Why, did you take her in green? Caius. Hi, begar, and 'tis a boy, begar, I'll raise all Windsor. Exit Caius Ford. This is strange. Who hath got the right an? Page. My heart misgives me, here comes Master Fenton. Enter Fenton and Page. How now, Master Fenton? And pardon, good father. Good my mother, pardon. Page. Now, mistress, how chance you went not with Master Slender? Mrs. Page. Why went you not with Master Doctor Maid? Fenton. You do amaze her. Hear the truth of it. You would have married her most shamefully, where there was no proportion held in love. The truth is, she and I, long since contracted, are now so sure that nothing can dissolve us. Th offense is wholly that she hath committed, and this deceit loses the name of craft, of disobedience, or unduteous title, since therein she doth evitate and shun 1,000 irreligious cursed hours, which forced marriage would have brought upon her. Ford. Stand not amazed, here is no remedy. In love, the heavens themselves do guide the state, money buys lands, and wives are sold by fate. Falstaff. I am glad, though you have ta'en a special stand to strike at me, that your arrow hath glanked. Page. Well, what remedy? Fenton, heaven give thee joy! What cannot be eschewed must be embracked. Falstaff. When night dogs run, all sorts of deer are chased. Mrs. Page. Well, I will muse no further. Master Fenton, heaven give you many, many merry days. Good husband, let us every one go home, and laugh this sport o'er by a country fire, Sir John and all. Ford. Let it be so. Sir John, to Master Brooke ye yet shall hold your word, for he, tonight, shall lie with Mistress Ford. Exon a Midsummer Night's Dream. Contents Act I. Scene I. Athens. A room in the palace of Theseus. Scene 2. The same. A room in a cottage. Act 2. Scene I. A wood near Athens. Scene 2. Another part of the wood. Act 3. Scene I. The wood. Scene 2. Another part of the wood. Act 4. Scene I. The wood. Scene 2. Athens. A room in Quince's house. Act. Scene I. Athens. An apartment in the palace of Theseus. Dramatis Personae. Theseus, Duke of Athens. Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons, betrothed to Theseus. Egeus, father to Hermia, daughter to Aegis, in love with Lysander. Helena, in love with Demetrius. Lysander, in love with Hermia. Demetrius, in love with Hermia. Philostrat, master of the revels to Theseus. Quince, the carpenter. Snug, the joiner. Bottom, the weaver. Flute, the bellows mender. Snout, the tinker. Starveling, the tailor. Oberon, king of the fairies. Titania, queen of the fairies. Puck, or Robin Goodfellow, a fairy. Peaseblossom, fairy. Cobweb, fairy. Moth, fairy. Mustardcd, fairy. Pyramus, Thisbe, Wall. Moonshine, Lion. Characters in the interlude performed by the clowns. Other fairies attending their king and queen. Attendants on Theseus and Hippolyta. Scene, Athens, and a wood not far from it.